First Sergeant Kep here with Company D, 2nd United States Sharpshooters, and today I'm coming to you from the Easy Company Foxholes overlooking Foy near Bastogne, Belgium. I know we are a Civil War channel, but my wife and I are also big fans of all history, and this summer we've been visiting numerous World War I and World War II battlefields, memorials, cemeteries from all nations. And it's really kind of come to me, and I feel like it's really important to talk about the importance of historical accuracy and why we do what we do. We're portraying real people who went through real events. Some of your impressions are, may not be so intense. Like their historical experience may be vastly different than someone portraying another unit. And it's the importance of knowing your history and trying to research and find out as much as you can about not just the uniforms and the drill, but the monotony and struggles of everyday life. Even in more modern warfare of the First and Second World Wars, there's a lot of monotony. And as you study history, you have to understand what the environment was at the time, as far as culturally, physically, what the geography was. Right now, in the remaining foxholes of Easy Company, of the 101st Airborne, the forest around us is not original. There's hardly anything left of the Ardennes forest where they fought. Actually, most of the area around here in Luxembourg has all been turned into farmland. Most of the forests you see around us now are essentially commercial timber growth. And there's a lot of discussion and debate about exactly where the foxholes are. But we do know that there were a lot of American soldiers from numerous divisions in the area of Bastogne in that January, really experiencing some of the hardest times of battle. And so I want to put this call out to you to really remember the individual soldier or the individual nurse or civilian that you portray. Because if you're portraying one of these people during wartime, they witnessed and experienced horrors we can only imagine. But we owe it not only to ourselves and to the public, but to do good service to the honor of their memory and their sacrifices. We've been to so many American and French and Belgian and German cemeteries, and it's overwhelming to see not only the, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands of gravestones we've seen so far, but also the hundreds of thousands of graves where soldiers are remembered because they couldn't identify a grave. And their names are on these massive walls at Thiepval, and Vimy Ridge, and these are real people. And as I sit here and as I've sat in some really emotional and powerful places, do your homework, read a book, go beyond the forums, push yourself to understand the day-to-day life. And and a lot of people in our unit, we're kind of on the fence about first-person impressions and engaging the people that way. There are a few people who do first person excellently, but sometimes it puts people off. But even if you are not interested in pursuing a first person impression, then figure out someone in the company you're actually portraying that speaks to you and try to learn as much about their life and their experience as you can. Follow their path through their term of service during the Civil War or whatever war that you portray. What was the environment like? What was the climate like? How long were the marches? What were their food rations like? How did they prepare them? Are there diaries? How do they wear their clothes on the marches? How do they wear their clothes in battle? Even some of the most diehard campaigners will say, well, it has to be, in the manual. Well, we encourage you for documentation. Like, you can be different as long as you have written proof of it. And we get a lot of questions from our fantastic viewers. Well, can I do this with my uniform, or can I do this with my impression, or would they have this? And I always want to remind you that find out who you're portraying, know your unit, their cultural history. Are they immigrants? Do they all come from the same state, the same community? What cities recruited the most people from that area? For example, in Company D, thanks to the hard work of Private Soderling and our company clerk, Corporal Hardway, we actually got to know a lot more about our soldiers because we filled out period correct enlistment papers. And so we had to think about the city in Maine that we came from. We had to think about what age we would have been upon enlistment during what age we would have been at that time during the Civil War. Think about our heights, and we had to do research on the different careers and work that our soldiers did. So it really made us just something as simple as making everyone in your company fill out an enlistment paper. Makes you think about your persona in a whole new way and adds that human element to it. So yeah, and I encourage you, not everyone has the ability to go to Europe for a summer and study firsthand all these different places. But you can go to your local library. You can call, you can pick up your phone, and most state archives have 1-800 numbers, or your cell phone plan probably has unlimited long distance. You can actually reach out to people who can be in direct contact with primary sources, primary artifacts. We were outside of Bonny, France, at a kind of obscure American cemetery. And we had the wonderful opportunity of meeting and speaking with the secretary of the memorial on his first day on the job. And I got his information. So, a big reason of wanting to visit the World War I battlefields is because it's a big passion of my wife and I. But our country doesn't seem to really represent or acknowledge our soldier service during World War I, so we're going out of our way to visit our American soldiers' memorials and cemeteries over here. That one cemetery we visited had 3 Medal of Honor winners, and not many people know about it. But by having the opportunity to meet the secretary and getting his information, I can open up a conversation and get resources that he has that may not be readily available. So talk to people. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone, to send an email, find that information. And then when you have that all come together, you feel more personally attached to your character. You feel more personally attached and inspired by the hobby and inspired by living history. And the biggest benefit of it is when you do events, you can convey that accuracy to the public who may not know anything about what they're witnessing, and that you may be their first and only opportunity to learn about that event or that soldier, or their first opportunity to be excited and inspired about history and to go and learn more, and maybe learn more about the sacrifices and the hardships of all of our fighting men, women, military, and civilian who went through some of the most transformative periods of world and American history. So, yeah, we were just walking through this Belgian forest, and it's been something I've been thinking about. So, be inspired, work hard. Civil War reenacting, living history isn't just about going to the first settler, buying a uniform, and camping out. There are some events, after hours, yeah. I mean, there's no way you can get into the 19th century, so you have a little more fun. But as far as what you do and why you do it, consider the actual people who fought, struggled, suffered, and either died or lived and tried to readjust into the non-wartime world. So, thanks again for watching. Hope you like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please let us know down in the comments. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.